Hi everyone, welcome back to TSTALKS. Hope you're all doing well, staying safe, staying alert. Now in this one, I'm just talking about Transport for London. Now, over the last, probably coming up 2 months or so now, Mayor Sadiq has stated that TFL would require a bailout from the government due to the reduced earnings, due to the reduced customer numbers, and in regard to them also suspending the congestion charge and ultra low emission zone. This is something I spoke about a couple months ago when it was suspended, and I said that it's a good idea because you've got, a critical amount of key workers and, NHS workers that, work within the congestion charge zone, and it's, very key that they're able to get to and from work with less risk of, coming in contact with someone who has the virus. Now, just to name a few hospitals within that zone, you've got University College London Hospital, also known as UCLH. You've got St Thomas's, which is where Boris was in the intensive care unit when he wasn't too well, apparently. You've got Evelina London Children's Hospital, which is next to Guy's and St Thomas's, and then you've also got Great Ormond Street Hospital. So amongst all these different hospitals, you've probably got, definitely thousands of critical key workers, who more times would use public transport to get to and from work due to the fact that for some of these hospitals, there's no parking for them to really drive into work. I know Guy's and St Thomas's is a exception because I've been there before to visit people, and I know they've got a relatively big car park. But the remainders of them, there's no actual designated car park, and you can't just get street parking like that. And, also the congestion charge in ULEZ is quite a hefty fee. So, the government got a bailout last week, Friday, and, the plans came out of what they plan to do straight away. Now, the first one was that the congestion charge in ULEZ was reintroduced as of this week, Monday, which it was. And as far as I'm aware, we're still battling this coronavirus situation. So I don't quite see how that makes sense to bring it back in at the moment. Yes, it seems like we're through the peak of things. Yes, it seems like the lockdown and stuff is being eased and stuff. But at the same time, we still seem to be kind of in the thick of things. Now, like I just mentioned, there's thousands of members of staff that, need to travel to work on site at their hospital's work. For people that do admin work, some of them can work from home, but if you're a clinical member of staff, if you're a consultant, a physio, an occupational therapist, there's only so much you can do from home. A large proportion of it requires you to be on site. So you're now asking people to pay this money to travel to work, which, when you calculate, it's ridiculous. It's like $11.50 a day, which is going to £15 a day from next month. That's £75 a week. And I see they're saying that, you can get, your payment for the congestion charge reimbursed. But if you can get it reimbursed, then why do you just not make these key critical workers have to pay it? It's all good saying, you can get it reimbursed, but it's when will you get it reimbursed? That's the key thing. If, someone has to pay up £75 out of their pocket a week just to travel to and from work, and they don't get it back at the end of the month, then they're put out of pocket. And if at the same time, if they're going to pay it, let's say, on a Monday morning and get reimbursed Monday afternoon, there's no logic to that. They might as well just not pay it. So in terms of that, I think that's a bit ridiculous, especially how, like I mentioned, the price is going to be raised to £15, and the actual times of it's going to be, instead of 7 to 6, 7 till 10, and also it's going to be 7 days a week. I just think it's bang out of order, to be honest with you. And yeah, Sadiq Khan has come out to state that this was, in line with the plans from, I think it was the Department of Transport for the bailout. I saw him having a discussion with Piers Morgan on Good Morning Britain, and he showed his paperwork. He didn't show the facts on the paper, but he showed the paper showing who is it from, and he seemed to be reading from it saying that, this bailout depends on certain things. And, at the end of the day, I've got nothing against Sadiq Khan. It seems like he's been given more slack for the changes to what's happening with TFL following this bailout than Boris seems to be getting for this whole, crisis along the country. But, it doesn't mean that I agree with what the mayor's doing here, because adding to that, people that have freedom passes, they no longer can use it during peak hours. Now, that might not be such a bad thing for those people to say, okay, well, you might not want to travel at peak hours because, we're still not fully clear with this thing, and you are in the vulnerable category. The times of the day, if you travel when there's less people about, is putting yourself at less risk. That I understand, but at the same time, you don't know when these people might need to travel. Someone might have a doctor's appointment or hospital appointment at 9 o'clock in the morning. We're going to say, oh, actually, can we change the time because my pass means that I can't travel till after the morning rush hour. Or they might not be able to have an appointment in the afternoon because they can't travel till the evening now. At the end of the day, yes, it's a free bus pass, but you never know what someone's financial situation is where, they could be affected by this. Same thing goes to the kids' free travel. Now that's been scrapped. Now, I'm someone that, I didn't come from like the most wealthiest background, but I was okay. Like my parents were able to give me, pocket money, for school. Some kids would have more, some kids would have less, but I was able to have that pocket money for school. And, thankfully for me at the time when I was going to school, like I had free travel, so the buses and that were free. The train wasn't that much. It was like 50p or something at the time. Not sure what it is now, but for some of these kids that's currently in schools now, they're not coming from the best financial background, one. Also, even if they were, some of their family backgrounds who were financially in a good place may have been affected by everything that's gone on with this. And it's like, well, now actually, for some of these parents, they've now got to say, well, here's your money for your travel for the week, but I don't have money to give you pocket money on top. And what people don't seem to understand is things like this where, kids grow up in a certain level of poverty, and then it's like, well, actually, I can't have pocket money for lunch and money for travel. That, not all, but some kids may, divert off and start heading down the wrong path just because they see other people with money and they're like, oh, I don't want to live like this. Now, I'm not making an excuse for anyone that does, but I'm just saying something from an avenue that I've seen before, 100%. I've definitely seen it before, but, this is just me giving my thoughts on it. So, you've got Sadiq Khan saying that, most of these changes is based on the government's bailout. You've got people from the government saying that, well, there is points in there that, certain things need to be changed, but at the end of the day, that they didn't set the new pricing, timing, and, 7-day effectiveness of the congestion charge. In regard to the free travel stuff, I again think it's a bit, bang out of order. And yeah, hopefully in time we may see things get turned around, but like I said, this is going to affect a lot of Londoners, for the minimum, the next 12 to 18 months, 100%. So, it wouldn't surprise me come January the 2nd next year, when it usually does, that, the fees and that are just going to go up and up. But, like as everyone says, over time, everything goes up but people's wages. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on it. As you can tell, I'm not really best pleased on it. But, it is what it is. And at the end of the day, if I have a thought on something, I'm going to speak on it and let my thoughts be known. So, yeah, I'd be glad to hear your thoughts on it in the comment section below. And if you haven't already done so, make sure you go ahead and subscribe button now. And I'll catch you next time.